Going to experience the acceleration on the Model S Plaid. Whoa! That's a lot faster than it looked on YouTube. Crazy fast.
Very fast, right? My name is Jilianne, and this is my 2022 Tesla Model S Plaid.
I'm here at Beverly Hills. We've got Sylvester Stallone's home just down this street. Taylor Swift is on the other side. And I've got the opportunity to speak with Miss Jilianne, who is a Tesla owner and investor, who recently just got a 2022 Model S Plaid in black. In this video, we hear Jilianne's views about the Tesla Model S Plaid, FSD beta, and also why it matters for us to call out both the good and bad in Tesla. Click subscribe to stay updated to more videos on Tesla. Jilianne, how did your journey with Tesla begin?
So I first got solar panels for my home. And then I thought it was only makes sense to buy an electric vehicle. So I made an appointment to test drive a Model 3 at my local Tesla showroom. And I have been hooked since. So I went down and took a test drive, and I could not believe how amazing the Tesla Model 3 was. At the time, I was like blown away. I at the time was driving a Mercedes ICE vehicle, and I knew then I would no longer ever be driving an ICE vehicle, and I would probably be driving Teslas for the rest of my life.
This was around which year?
2020.
2020. How did it feel for you being in the Model 3 for the first time?
At first, I was nervous. I was like, okay, this is different. This is more than an electric golf cart. This is something I'm going to be taking on the freeway. So the sales gentleman said, I want you to go ahead and go on the freeway, which is nearby. And it was rush hour traffic in Los Angeles, and I was a little nervous because I was by myself, and they just let you take the car for 30 minutes alone. So I was like, okay, this is different. This is not what I'm used to driving. I've been driving an ICE vehicle for my entire life. So, but I was like, okay, I'm ready. So he goes, oh, be sure to engage FSD on autopilot on the freeway. And I was like, well, what exactly does that do? He said, well, the car is going to drive itself. And I was like, okay, all right. So it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon in rush hour traffic in Los Angeles. I hop on the 101 freeway, and the guys, I remember when he said how to engage the autopilot. So I engaged it, and then I instantly turned it off. And I'm like, oh, this is too scary. This is too scary. I'm like, this is just weird that a car would be driving for you. So I'm like, this is just weird. And plus so much traffic. And I was like, oh, I can't. So I still love the car, and I did my little test drive, and I drove back, and the nice gentleman from Tesla came down and said, so how was it? And I said, I love the car. It's amazing. This is so different from an ICE vehicle, and I have to get one right away. So he said, well, how was the autopilot? And I said, well, I turned it off. I was a little nervous. He said, go back around, and I want you to turn it on, because you have to see this. And I was like, oh, it was a little nervous, a little scary. He said, trust me to trust the vehicle. Trust the vehicle. So I said, okay, I'm game. So I got back on the freeway, and I engaged autopilot. I trusted the vehicle. And when I trusted the vehicle and I saw exactly what it did and what it could do for me and how safe it was and how it could actually be life-changing for me as a safety feature in my automobile, there was no way that I couldn't go back and order one instantly. And that's exactly what I did. I went back around. He said, how was it? And I said, okay, well, I guess I have to order one now, because I can't leave here without ordering one. So I ordered a Model 3.
Wow. Can you imagine driving a Tesla for the first time? And you have no sales advisor next to you. In Singapore, you cannot test drive alone. There's always a sales advisor. And they ask you to turn on autopilot by yourself. That is like a trust fall you learn in those team building activities or school camps. and you just let go.
Yeah.
And since then, Jilianne and I have went Plaid, as you can see. You bought Daren then, immediately after trying it.
So I bought it, I ordered it,
Yeah.
and then I was thinking, well, you know, I'm gonna. Once you start looking at the Tesla website, it sucks you in. You're like, oh wait a minute, let me look at the Plaid. I mean, let me look at the Model X. Let me look at the Model S. Is this the right? Well, how about the Y? Wait, which one do I exactly want? You know, because they're all so different and so amazing. So I ended up finding a pre-owned Model X on the Tesla website, and I went with that. So I canceled my Model 3, and I purchased a pre-owned Model X with full self-driving capability. And yeah, I fell in love with that vehicle.
That was Jilianne's first car, a Model X with FSD. What made you switch from a Model X to now a Model S?
So I've always had in my life, I've gone from sedans to SUVs, back to a sedan to an SUV. I like to change. I like change. So there was absolutely nothing wrong with my X. I love the Model X. I love everything about it. The Falcon doors, self-presenting doors. I love the big huge windshield. It feels like you're in a spaceship. I loved everything about the Model X. But I wanted something different. It was time to make a change and to go back to a sedan. And I thought, well, I'll just go for the new refreshed sedan because I actually wanted to try the Yoke as well. So the Yoke just seems so modern. That's the reason I went for a Model S. I wanted to try a sedan.
Going from SUV to sedan, a steering wheel because the old S and X was still on steering wheel. The refreshed one had a yoke. Now I'm going to get Jilianne to give us an external tour of the Model S Plaid and talk about a few of its iconic features. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Let's do it.
I'll be behind the camera as we just walk around the Model S.
So one of the great things about owning a Tesla is that you can control most of everything you need to do from your phone. For example, you can control the climate, so you can adjust the air conditioner, the heating, steering wheel heat, seat heat and cooling. You can also unlock it. You can open the trunk, close the trunk, open the front, and unlock the doors, lock the doors. So here's an example. We'll unlock the vehicle, and then I'll open the trunk via the app. So simply push open right here, and she opens. Pretty simple, yeah?
Lots of space.
Yeah, lots of space. Some people love to take pictures of dogs in their trunk, and it is absolutely adorable. Okay, so then we'll go around here, and down here on the fender is what they call a repeater camera. This camera faces to the side rear of the vehicle, and it records while you're driving. It will record while you're driving, and also it will record if you want to turn your turn signal on. It will show the side of your car to make sure it's safe for you to turn. It'll show that on the screen in the console. It also helps with the autopilot and the full self-driving. And then we also have another camera right here that's called the B-pillar camera. That camera records going forward to the side of the vehicle. So it is also recording during travel, and also it will also record if there's what they call Sentry alert, which is if someone tries to break in your car, if they touch your car while your alarm is on, or if you're away from your car, it will record them.
One cool thing about the US is that you have live Sentry mode.
We do.
In Singapore, it isn't allowed, unfortunately, right now. So hopefully the Land Transport Authority gives us permission to use live Sentry because it's a really cool feature. Do you find it helpful in any way?
I think that it's just that reassurance of being able to spy on your car just to make sure that it's safe. There are often times that I'll look at mine just because I want to see if anyone is parked too close to me, or if there was an issue of maybe someone bumping my car, then I would be able to see how close they were.
Will you show us what it looks like in the app?
Of course. So we go to the app here. So right now that's showing the hood, but let's show us. So there we are live, standing outside. There's the B pillar.
What a meta moment.
Yeah, so
Say
it's
hi to
live.
ourselves.
Hello. All right, so then if I push this here, it's going to show the rear. And then if I push the side, it's going to show the other side. So it's actually a really good feature. And as you can see, it came up really quickly. So there wasn't much delay at all. So,
Can it also speak like a loudspeaker? Like, can you say, hey, don't touch my Tesla?
it can. All right, so let's do that, okay? So let's bring it up again. Hey, don't touch my Tesla.
Hey, don't touch my Tesla.
Excuse me, sir. Get away from the car.
Get away from the car.
So it actually modifies the sound of your voice so it doesn't sound just like you. It's
really
actually
cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Very lovely feature.
Worth every penny. All right, so another really, really cool thing that I like about the Model S are the self-presenting door handles. So if I unlock the car, as you can see, the door handles open, they pulled out. This is not a new feature. It's from the very beginning of the Tesla family Model S. And if you pull it up, you open here, and it's pretty simple. Okay, just close again. If you lock it, they automatically close. Or if you walk away from the car, they'll automatically lock. So then we come around to the trunk. And on the trunk is a carbon fiber fin that basically means that this is a Model S Plaid. You can buy this aftermarket, so just because you see a car that has it on there doesn't mean it's 100% Model Plaid, but it's okay. That is a clue that it probably is a Plaid. Or you can always look at the badge if it hasn't been debadged with a Plaid logo.
Plaid.
All right. And then if we open the trunk, there are different ways to open the trunk. Remember I said we can open the trunk with the phone? Let's do that. So we go to controls, open the trunk with the phone. The trunk is very, very spacious. This comes up and off. If you wanted to remove it completely, it's very easy to remove and completely remove. There's space under here for storage. There's space over here for storage. Obviously, the seats go down like pretty much any other sedan, and you have a lot of storage. It's very similar to the storage my Model X had, except the height isn't quite the same. But as far as the depth and the width, it's very, very close as a Model X.
There's also another camera on top.
So there's another the rear camera that we saw earlier, and this right there. So that camera is recording at all times while the vehicle is running. It also would record if someone was going to make the security Sentry mode turn on, where someone was like breaking in the car or bumping the car. It would alert and make the Sentry mode come on. And then there's a button here, like most sedans nowadays. You can close it that way, or again, I can just close it with the app, which I just did here.
One very different thing about Teslas in the US are the charge port. They have a proprietary Tesla port.
Very small, by the way. And this is what it looks like. This is what the port looks like. I'm going to push the button here and open it. It's very small. And then again, you can open and close the port with your phone.
That's a great look at the refreshed Model S from the outside. On top here, like all other Teslas, you get a glass roof. So you get to see a panoramic view of the sky. And now what Jilianne, you're going to show us is, everyone's been talking about it, the Yoke. So let's head into the driver's seat and take a look at what's the whole big deal about this.
I love the Yoke. I love the Yoke. Did I tell you I love the Yoke? All right, let's see. Here's the Yoke. So I have so many, there are controls here all in one little area. So I can adjust the volume to the radio. I can change stations. I can change music. My turn signals are here. My bright lights are there. My horn is here. My windshield wipers. And then this is the voice activated control. So if I wanted to ask the car, perhaps let me open the trunk by saying open butthole, the trunk will open. Or if I wanted to turn on the interior lights, or many, there are like about 100 different voice commands that button is all you need to push to make them happen. So I really, really love everything being centrally located in this yoke.
In the old Refresh S and X, this wasn't a horn. How about your version?
So in my previous X, it was a horn. This is not a horn. This is the horn here. And it actually works really well because if your hand is here, you just push the button there. It's very simple.
You've got a heads-up display.
So the heads-up display pretty much gives you everything you need to know about the car. You can see the doors open.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a live video of what's happening on the car. So if we opened any of the other doors, it would show.
I'm now going to head inside the front passenger seat of the Model S to talk with Jilianne about what she likes about the Model S and what she thinks can be improved for the future. We're inside Jilianne's Model S Plaid now. You can see a beautiful glass roof right above us. Is it something that you enjoy or your passengers enjoy more?
Oh, I think anyone who rides in the car can enjoy it. There's nothing like looking straight up and being able to see the sky.
You've been in 3 different types of Tesla, the Model 3, the Model X, and now the Model S. How does the size, the ride height, the overall feel differ for you?
So the Model X is a higher vehicle. So I like a higher vehicle. The Model 3 is low as well as the Model S. But you have to expect that from a sedan and an SUV. That's part of the difference. So it depends what type of ride you're going for. If you want the SUV a little higher, then obviously the Y or the X would be good for you. If you want more of a sedan where it's going to be lower and you're okay with that, then the Model S or 3 would be good for you.
One thing that many people will love in your refreshed Model S and X is not just that you've got a heads-up display, but that your center touchscreen is actually bigger. It's 17 inches instead of 15 inches, as you can see over here. So it's really expansive, lots of space. Do you actually notice the difference?
The only thing I noticed the difference is this is portrait and not landscape. So I'm sorry, this is landscape and not portrait. I said it backwards. So this is so I do like having the landscape display better than the portrait, which was on the Legacy Model X.
You get a whole wide view of where we are right now, Beverly Hills, and again the map's really responsive. So the computer inside is also pretty good.
It's very, very fast. It loads really quickly.
What do you love the most about your 2022 Model S Plaid?
I love the comfort. I love the yoke, and I also love the speed. There is nothing more dangerous than being in a situation in an unpowered or underpowered, underpowered vehicle where you can't get out of the situation that could be an emergency. So with this S, I can certainly get out of any situation pretty much that I need and have a lot more power than I would ever need. So a Model S long range would probably be perfectly fine for me, but I end up with the Plaid and I absolutely love the power.
The power is thrilling. As you saw in a clip earlier, the acceleration is insane.
It is.
0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.99 seconds if you go to launch mode. Now, we don't get to launch every day, but to Jilianne's point, the practical daily use of lane changes, making a turn quickly, that's all very helpful with the acceleration. What's one thing that Tesla needs to improve for future versions of the Model S Plaid?
Okay. All right, so see my tumbler here? This is my Tesla tumbler. So if Tesla could make this tumbler fit into this cup holder a little better, it's just not fitting right. I mean, it fits, it's snug, but it just doesn't go down all the way. So that would be the only thing I could suggest. It's an amazing vehicle.
Tesla, you're great at vertical integration. So you've got tumbler again. It's pretty tough for me to bring it out. Vertically integrate tumbler with cup holder. And you've got one happy customer here. We've had a good look at the Tesla Model S Plaid features. Now let's take to the back seat, which is really spacious, to talk a little bit more about FSD beta, as well as safety score and what's ahead for Tesla. See you in the back seats. We're here in the back seat of the Model S Plaid. As you can see, it is very spacious. There's enough space here for a full-grown adult in the middle. And the glass roof is beautiful to look at, especially for rear passengers. When you're in the front seat, you're just so focused on what's ahead on the road, as well as the big 17-inch touchscreen in front. How do you feel being in the back seat? I believe it's your first time here.
This is the first time in the back seat, and wow, I think that I need to find a driver to drive for me, because this is beautiful back here. I can't believe this. I was so excited about driving the car that I didn't realize that being a passenger in the back would be such a beautiful view. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna need to find a driver so I can ride in the back more often.
The Tesla Uber experience.
That's right.
And remember, for the Refresh S and X, down below, you also get another touchscreen you can watch Netflix, YouTube, Disney Plus with. We're here because I want to talk about now FSD beta. When you were driving your Model X, you were using FSD beta daily.
I did. I used it daily on my commute here in Los Angeles. And driving the canyons of Los Angeles, I drive a couple different canyons to get to my workplace, and I would use it daily.
That was not an easy route. There was a pretty sharp turn that you showed earlier as well.
Yes, there's one particular turn that is pretty much a hairpin turn.
One of the things that Tesla takes pride in is their pace of innovation as one of their competitive advantages. How quickly do you see FSD beta improve while you are using it?
It's improved quite a bit. With every update, I've seen improvements. There have been a couple of things in each update that seems like a step back, but overall, every update has been an improvement. And I'm really looking forward to getting FSD on my new Model S Plaid. I've been 3 weeks with this car and without having my Model X with FSD beta, and I feel like I'm safe in this car, but I feel having FSD beta, I felt even more safe. And without having it, I feel like I'm missing a part of an important safety feature in my car. And I know that eventually we'll get it rolled out to new beta testers. I'm not a new beta tester. I was a tester in my previous vehicle, but Tesla doesn't change the beta testing. It doesn't switch you over from a beta tester from your old vehicle to your new vehicle, even if you do purchase FSD. It's just not something they do at the time of purchase. So you have to wait until they bring in new beta testers, and it's been said that it probably will happen in the next few days. So I'm really looking forward to that.
You bought FSD in your previous Model X, you bought FSD in your current Model S.
Yes.
However, currently, FSD beta does not transfer across vehicles yet.
Correct.
Elon has mentioned that they are opening it up in the next few days to everyone with a safety score above 80. But until then, there's definitely some ways to streamline the process to make it easier, because FSD beta testers have put in a lot of effort into testing the software, giving feedback.
True. So when you do test, when you're a beta tester, they have there's a little camera that they put on your screen. So anytime there's an issue that you want to show Tesla that something that went wrong, or something that can be improved, then you just push the little camera and it sends a message to Tesla with what you experience.
Safety is very important for Tesla. And today, the way that they select FSD beta testers is based on safety score. Tesla designed the safety score to incentivize safer driving behavior, like forward, back collision warnings, hard brakes. And they also use it for Tesla insurance premium calculations. You're something of a safety score expert yourself. You had a 99 safety score in your Model X, and right now you've got a 99 safety score on your Model S.
That's true.
Nothing is perfect, everything's a journey.
Right.
What could Tesla do to make Tesla's safety score better?
So the safety score tends to blame you for things that aren't necessarily in your control. For example, you will get accused of, you will get dinged for unsafe following if a car darts off in front of you. It's automatically a ding for you. It seems to be unfair that you could be following, giving the car in front of you plenty of space, but someone, because you're giving so much space, they cut in front of you, then because the person cut in front of you, you are accused of unsafe following. And that's a little bit frustrating because you're trying to take every step possible to keep your score high, and not get dinged. So that's one of the things I would ask them to change, if they do continue the safety score process.
Agree. Keep it into parameters that are within the driver's control. There are some things that are out of the driver's control. Someone else cutting into your lane, and that's important for it to factor in just to improve.
Right.
We also hope that safety score comes to more countries outside the US as well. In Southeast Asia, we do not yet have safety score. I think it's a great way, even without FSD beta, even without Tesla insurance, to at least just give people something to look at. There were some jokes on Twitter. I'll only date someone with a safety score above 90.
Well, I can tell you that the safety score has made me a better driver in a sense, because if I do make a mistake, it lets me know that I've made a mistake and I see it as a grade. It also can be a little frustrating because it makes me want to drive like a driver's ed student, because I'm taking every precaution possible to ensure that I keep a high safety score. So it has its pros and it has its cons. Would I like to continue driving with a safety score? No. No.
Well, the community feedback is important to help Tesla grow. I think Chuck Cook has been doing a great job talking about the unprotected left turn, featuring it. The recent updates on FSD beta calls Chuck's left turn specifically.
Yes.
You've done work in calling out how Tesla can improve, and also calling out when service was great. Like you mentioned yesterday, one of the Tesla Rangers came to your place,
Yes.
Raul,
Yes, Raul did a
and
great
he's
job.
actually helped you to link your garage door together with your Model S. Did it for free with great service with a smile.
Excellent service. Raul was amazing. Yes, customer service is important, and also for every complaint, I think you probably have heard that every complaint, you should have at least 2 suggestions. So not only do I like to provide good faith criticism to Tesla, but I also like to offer suggestions or ways to help improve the brand when a customer, such as myself or any Tesla customer, experiences a shortcoming. And Tesla is a growing company. We understand that. And it's a fast growing company. So there will be growing pains. But we as Tesla owners and investors should really let Tesla know when we experience a shortcoming, because that way they have an understanding of what we as true Tesla fans and investors experience, and that way they can fix them. So if we refer someone to a Tesla, we want to ensure that they are experiencing the best car and the best service. And if we don't bring that attention to Tesla when there is a shortcoming, we're actually hindering the future of Tesla.
Yeah. Some people feel that those could be blind spots if we think everything is awesome.
Right.
That usually isn't the reality.
That's right.
For many of us, we struggle. How do we find the right balance between championing Tesla, all the good things it does, but also challenging Tesla? Here's what we think you can improve,
Right.
especially in public forums online.
Right. Without upsetting anybody. We don't want to upset anybody. We understand that Tesla is an amazing product. They're an amazing company. The Tesla team is an amazing team. Look what they've built. They've built something that was said could never be done. And when we critique Tesla, it's important to understand that we're not critiquing the employees, the team Tesla. We're only critiquing in order to make Tesla a better product. And like I said earlier, if I'm going to critique, I'm going to give, for every critique, I'm going to give 2 suggestions on how to make it better, or I'm not going to say anything.
Now that we've talked so much about the Model S Plaid, it's time to put it in action, where we'll see Jilianne use the Yoke. We'll give you a short tour of the streets of LA. How's that sound?
You know what, Daren? I really like sitting in the back seat. You mind driving?
Okay, I'll be the chauffeur for a few minutes.
Yes.
First time driving a Model S Plaid. So we're in drive mode. Wow, the yoke feels wider than a steering wheel.
It does feel wider.
Yeah. And gradual turns, so far, pretty steady. Just chilling here in Beverly Hills, passing all the celebrities' homes. Testing in a nice, quiet street. I'm going to make a right turn. It's not too bad turning with the yoke. It's okay.
There is a short learning curve,
Mm-hmm.
but after you drive a few miles, it's comfortable.
Yeah. Where should I turn here?
You can go forward.
Okay, going forward. See fancy sports cars all around us. This is a bougie area. We saw a lot of Teslas here as well earlier. Let's see how many we spot this time.
I think it's like 1 out of 10 cars. There's a Tesla right there.
A Model
It's like
Y.
1 out of 10 cars in this area is a Tesla.
We're going forward.
Sure.
Another matte black, or some will call it satin black, Model Y. I think the yoke's absolutely fine to drive. It's
Yeah, try to make a
pretty
turn.
steady.
Turn right.
I'm gonna make a right turn.
Mhm.
So the signals on the
I saw you reach for the yoke.
yeah.
I mean the turn signal.
Yeah, shadow stock.
Shadows.
There are no stocks on the Model S Plaid. Look at the beautiful old retro car on the right. Okay, this is this beautiful roads. Even without flooring the accelerator, you can just feel the power and the responsiveness.
It's ready to go.
Yeah.
It's like a panther ready to pounce.
Yes. I'm loving it. I'm just loving it. How can I go back to any other car now? Now, Jilianne's going to take a drive on the Tesla. I'll show you what the yoke looks like in action. We'll see a little bit of LA as we drive through and just talk about the handling experience. So see you back in the front seats. You mentioned that you would not go back to a normal steering wheel. How's driving with a yoke in city streets?
I absolutely love the yoke. At first, I was like, "Oh, I'm not quite sure," but by the time I got off the out of the parking lot of the delivery center, I knew that I could never go back to a regular steering wheel. Now, I don't drive. I'm not a truck driver, so that may make a difference if you want to drive on the track. But driving on city streets and on the freeways, I absolutely love the yoke.
Do you think that the yoke should also come to the Model 3 and Y? Or is there still a place for a steering wheel?
I think it should be an option. I think that some people just do not want the yoke, but there are so many who would love to experience the yoke. So I think Tesla should make an option.
One thing that many people love about a yoke is that it gives more visibility up front, doesn't cover your view as much. Any downsides that we should know of when using the yoke?
That's true. It does show the display, the heads-up display, but even if you don't have a heads-up display, I think that having a yoke does give a lot more visibility. And I don't have a downside. I think driving with the yoke is very easy. Turning is easy. I use my palm a lot to turn, and I don't have an issue with the yoke at all. I'm a huge fan of the yoke.
Another thing that people realize is that the two turn stalks are also gone. Everything's on the steering wheel itself. So with the yoke, with the turn stalks gone, how long did it take for you to adjust everything?
Maybe a couple minutes. My mirrors, everything was adjusted within just a few minutes. Didn't take much time at all.
That's pretty cool. You can see we're now driving in the city with some traffic. And you see even with the yoke, it isn't too hard to make a turn.
So what I do is I'll take my palm usually
Mm-hmm.
and make this turn, just simply like that.
And then back.
And then back. Sometimes I'll put my hands up here, but generally this is a really nice way to just rest my hands here.
Mm-hmm.
You have plenty of options to make it comfortable.
Yeah.
Again, making turns, I'll use my palms a lot. Like that. And then obviously there's this way as well.
For those of you who are watching from the rest of the world, we don't have the Refresh S and X yet. If you come down to US, rent one from Turo, give it a try. Just experience the yoke for a little bit. Some of you may like it. If you're using the 10-2 steering, you just have to adjust to a 9-3 steering. Or even hands at the bottom, like what you see Jilianne doing right now. It's actually a really beautiful day. It was drizzling a little bit earlier in the morning.
It was, yeah. These are the gates to Bel Air.
Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
That's right.
Did they film on location?
No.
Oh, there you go. Movie trivia for those of you who are fans. Jilianne, thank you for sharing your story, as well as having the courage of your convictions to share with us both the good and the areas that Tesla can improve.
It's my pleasure, Daren.
How can everyone else follow you?
You can find me on Twitter at Miss Jilianne at twitter.com.
So you'll find a link in the video description to Miss Jilianne's Twitter profile. If you found this video useful, please click the like button. Hit subscribe to join me on our journey to meet more Tesla owners around the world.